In this system.io funnel tutorial, I'm going to show you how to turn a lead generation funnel into a sales funnel. Now we're going to be following a video I recently shot, which does give away a free lead generation funnel template. And what we're going to be doing is turning that lead generation funnel template into a sales funnel by creating what's called a bridging page. This is where you deliver the lead magnet, but then introduce a new solution to their problems. We're going to create a simple checkout form, and then finally we're going to create the thank you page. So if you stick around until the end of this video, you'll have a fully done for you working sales funnel ready to start collecting some money. Now, just before we get into it, if you haven't yet got system.io, I've got my full System Accelerator course that I give away to referrals who join System through my link in the description. It's free to get started, so if you haven't yet got System, make sure you join using that link in the description. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, we're going to be using this funnel as the demo. This is in fact the lead generation funnel I give away for free. I've actually recreated this funnel to give away the lead generation template, so it's a bit of inception going on right here. But this is what it currently looks like, a place where people can put in their name and email, and then a place to get the template. So what we're going to do is come inside of our template. At the very bottom, we're going to first add in 2 steps, which immediately turns this from a lead generation funnel into a potential sales funnel. So at the bottom here, click on add step. What we need is actually an order form. This is what you need to make sales. So for the name, I generally put what the product is, and then I add order. So for this demo, I'm going to be selling the System Accelerator course, okay? And I'm going to put order being the order form, just for quick reference. And in fact, I might just shorten it a bit so it's not too long. Now for the type, what we want to do is choose the order form. Make sure you choose order form just under sales, or else it won't work properly. And for this example, I'm actually going to start with a template, and the reason being is the order forms can get quite tricky. So I'm just going to use a pre-created order form and customize it from there. So go ahead and hit save. This is going to show us all of the templates we can use. If you want to see more range, go to the very bottom and click on 30. This is going to give you up to 30 options. I personally like to use this one here. It's about 6 on the left. The reason why is it has 2 columns. The left column is what's going to be shown first on mobile. The second is the payment. So it just kind of makes logical sense. So I'm going to click on select. This is going to install that template. Now, before we start adjusting anything, I'm going to come back down to the bottom left, click on add step one more time. And this time I'm going to put the same name, System ACC, but instead I will put success. This is basically what they are going to see once they've paid. Under type, I'm going to click down once again under sales, choose thank you. And this time I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to use the layout inside of the first step to actually get all the mobile optimization. It just saves a bunch of time. So go ahead, click on save. Now this is going to install. So the first thing I do once I have these new pages is set the URL. It's just something I like to do. So if I come to the very first page, you can see this is lead gen funnel demo. So as this is a demo, I'll copy the entire slug. That's called a URL slug, this one here. Come to the order form and I'll paste it in one more time. But this time what I'm going to do is add an order. You can add in multiple things as well if you want, but this is just so I know if someone comes to this page and I see what page they came from, I know exactly what it is. And then what I'm going to do is copy that entire thing one more time and actually come to the final step, paste it in, and then put success, right? Now don't worry, no one should be ever typing this in manually. This is kind of just for peace of mind. I just don't like having random characters everywhere. So let's go ahead and start customizing first of all the order form. This is what it currently looks like. So it needs a bit of work. There's no product inside of here. So let's go and start customizing it. Now, before we go and actually customize the page, what I recommend you do is add in a product. This is just going to show us a final copy instead of having to go back and forth later. So for this example, I'm going to be selling a digital product. In fact, it is my System Accelerator course. So I'm going to click on digital product and I will create a new one from scratch just to show you how it works. If you've already got one, you can select it here. So click on this right plus. This is going to give you the option to create a product name. This is if you've never created a digital product on System before. I'm going to type in System Accelerator. I'm going to put a price just so I have reference for later. And for resources, what I'm going to do is click on this plus, choose a resource. I'm going to choose a course, and I'm going to choose the system accelerator, which I've already created, and click full access. So basically what happens if someone completes the checkout, they're going to get access to this resource. Now what we need to do is create a pricing plan for it. So on the bottom right here, you can see inside of the same gray square, we've got pricing plans, and over here we've got a plus. So click on that plus. Now, if you've already created payment plans, you can choose existing ones inside of here. If you haven't, click create a new one. Now, the first one is what's going to be displayed inside of the order form down here. So you want to name what the product is they're purchasing. I'm going to type in system accelerator. The second one, this is an internal name, right? So if you've got a specific offer, if it's a specific special, whatever it might be, this is what's going to be shown in your back office. So I'm going to put inside here system ACC, and then I'm going to type in 67. So now I know if I come inside here looking for this particular pricing plan, I just look for this. Once I've found it, it's going to pre-fill everything else. So statement descriptor, what do you want it to say inside of their statement? You can put either your brand or the course. I'll just put in the course right here. Now pricing plan, choose if it's a subscription, payment plan, or one-time payment. And you can actually add either a one-time or payment plan if you want. I'm just going to leave it as it's only $67. People don't need payment plans for that. And then choose your amount, $67. You can choose if you want tax or if you don't want to include it. And then go ahead and click on save, right? So click on save one more time and boom. Now if we refresh this order form, you can see it's actually got the product we've created and the pricing, right? Nice and easy. So now that we've done that, that's actually much of the hard stuff done. Let's go and click on edit and start customizing this page. All right, so here it is. You can see it's already looking quite fresh right off the bat. If you want to save some time, you don't have to worry about styling. Basically, just copy all of the text, the images, things like that you want, and leave the styling pre-created as it is already mobile optimized. So what I'm going to do first of all is add in all the bits and pieces, and then I'll be pedantic with the actual look and feel of it afterwards. Keeping in mind, if you spend a bit of time making this look amazing the first time, you can use this for all of your products that you sell in the future. So what I'm going to do is I've actually come to Claude and asked it for a bunch of information about it. I'm creating a tutorial on system, teaching people how to turn a lead gen into funnels, right? So I basically asked for a attractive results-driven headline, description, etc. And I uploaded the template. And if you talk to AI and give it all the information about your product, it's just going to make life so much easier. So what I'm going to do is just show you how to add everything in. The first thing you want to do is come to settings at the top. Under default typography, go ahead and choose the font that you want to use. So I'm going to use Poppins. Scroll down a bit further, we've got the heading typography. So once again, I'll use Poppins, but I will make the font style. I'll turn it into semi-bold. That's what I'm using for it. And now if we start at the top, I'm just going to copy and paste from my my Claude results. So we've got here the heading. If I go down, we've got the image. So click on the image, click on this little cloud, and you can drop in your mockups. If you don't have any, just use something like Canva. It's nice and easy. I'm just going to drop in this one here like so. Okay, and then we can start adding in some text. So I'll just copy and paste this description like so, right? And then we've also got some sort of what they're going to receive text, right? I'll add in the links, all the bullet list. This is a bullet list, you can see. Paste that all in, and it's not going to look perfect just yet, but we're going to customize everything once it's all in. Okay, so for contact, I'm just going to punch in this little bit of social proof. I'm going to get rid of these bulleted lists like so. Okay, and then we've got the final step. So I'll just delete terms and conditions too. Copy and paste this bottom text like so. And I'm just going to give it a bit of margin because it's doing my head in a little bit. Okay, so maybe 20 on there. And that's pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is come to the top right and delete all of these fields that I don't need to collect. Now, this is entirely up to you, of course. What you want to keep is up to you, but I don't really care if it's an individual or a company, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of the company name. I'm going to get rid of tax number, and this is all entirely up to you what you want to keep and what you want to get rid of. I don't keep phone numbers, it lowers conversion, okay, and everything else is looking pretty good. So if I click on save right now, and I click on this little play button, we've used the exact default template, except we've just we've just added our text and also changed the image. So if I go ahead and press preview now, this is what the page currently looks like. So it's a good start. It's not perfect yet. We'll do a little bit of customization as well. So let's go back now and let's just start adjusting a few things. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at the live page, and it looks like this section here, the checkout section, is half, but it's probably a little bit more than half. So let's go ahead and reduce that a little bit. So if you scroll across, you can see, once you can see these lines, you can see where the sections are. So I'm going to click and drag that and just move right a little bit just to make them even again. Okay, now that looks pretty good. Now, for some reason, it's not showing me this white box inside of the editor, and I'm not a massive fan of that. So what I'm going to do is create my own content box, and hopefully I don't lose you here. If it gets too hard, just keep pressing this button and revert it. But I'm going to drop a content box here on the right, okay, and I'm going to drop it in at the top like so. So you can see content boxes there. Now I'm going to click on the title, and you can see header visibility. I'm going to get rid of that. So now we've basically just got a box. Now I'm just going to drag in all of this information, right? We've got payment details. And to click and hold them and move them, come to the cog, I find is always the best. Click, hold, and drag. And we're going to do that for all of the elements that we've got left, like so. Okay, payment method, right? We've got the payment methods options. We've got a random row there, so I'm just going to leave that. We've got order details, okay? We've got this offer price. I'm going to click. In fact, I'm going to keep that row there, so I'll put that entire row in like so. And then we've got this split. We've got the button, and we've also got the payment image. I'm just going to collect just the button and drop it below. Okay, and then I'm going to just get the orange image element and drop that below as well. Okay, so I'm going to now delete this entire row. I don't need it. So this is looking a little bit different. So what I'm going to do now is come to the very top. You can see we've got this orange content box sort of section. Click on that. And what I'm going to do is on the left, scroll down. We've got here a border. So I don't want the border. I'm just going to turn that to 0. But instead, under shadow, I'm going to choose mid shadow. And then under corner radius, I'm going to put 10. Okay, now if I click off it, you can see we've got this nice little border radius, similar to what's here, except we've actually created it so we know what we're dealing with. Now, I'm going to click once again on the content box. This time for color, I'm going to choose background color, and I'm going to put in white, which is 6 Fs. All right, or you can just scroll to the very top and click off it. And the reason I'm doing that is if I come to now the green section, I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to choose background color, and I'm just going to put in something like F7, F7, F7. Now you can see it's made it like a little bit of a gray background, but it's really made the checkout form pop, which is kind of what I'm going for. So what I'm going to do now is just be a little bit fussy with how I want things to look. So I'll do this really quick. So if I click on payment details, I believe it's too big. So I'm going to change that to 20. Okay. And if I scroll down a bit, you can see we've got this big margin. So I'm just going to change that to 10, right? Click on the second bit of text, same thing again. Okay. So change the font to 20, and we'll change the margin to 10. Now it looks like it's a little bit squashed to these form sections. So under that part, under the size and position, I'm just going to give it 10 margin as well, just to spread it out a little bit. And order details here, same thing. Okay, I'll change it to 20, scroll down. We've got the gap below. I'm going to change it to 10. And for margin this time, it's right up below it. So I'll put maybe 30, and that looks about the same distance. So that looks pretty good. So that's the beginning of it. If we look down here, it looks like we've got quite a big gap. This image, first of all, is way too big. So I'm going to change that to 300. All right, just to give it more of a subtle look. I could probably add a little bit of padding to the top and bottom of this form as well. So click on, once again, content box, come to the bottom, and what we're going to do is just give it another 10, so 20 total, and that's just going to leave a little bit more room at the top and bottom. So that's looking pretty nice so far. We'll play around with this in just a second, but I'm going to click save so I don't lose anything. Now on the left, this is looking nice. I think we could probably adjust a few things here too. Once again, you create the template once, you've got it forever. So I'm going to go to, first of all, this, I'll click on any element, and you can see we've got 2 rows in a section. So the first row is the one we want. Click on that, and you can see we've been pushed to the right by 40. So I'm going to change that to 20 just to stretch it out a little bit more. In fact, I could make it 30. No, I'll stick to 20. 20 looks good. All right. And now it just looks a little bit nicer inside of here. So the gaps between these sections are a little bit big. So first of all, I will start with the heading. I might increase this. Okay, so I'll increase this to 32. I'm going to highlight all of it here. For some reason it's bold, so I'm going to unbold it, right? Sorry, I've accidentally pressed that. Going all over the show. So I'm going to go back to I'll leave it at H1 actually, and just reduce it from there down to 32. I'll reduce the line height to about 38. Okay, and if I scroll down, we've got alignment, so I'll make that centered. So that's looking all right. In fact, I'm actually pretty happy with that. It's not too bad. This image needs to be bigger, so click on the image and stretch it out. And you can see there's quite a big gap. So if I click on the text, you can see we have 32. I'm going to change that to 10. Right, underneath is fine. Underneath this text is quite a big gap. Once again, we've got 40. So I'll change this to 20, maybe even 30. No, we'll go 20, sorry. That looks good. And then under this icon list, we've got quite a big gap again. So we'll change that to 30. Now, there's no gap at the top between this heading and this text. So I'll give it a 10 margin like so. We're looking pretty good. I'm now going to highlight all of this list and click B. I don't know why, but it was bold. If you want to give it a subtle bit of boldness as well, you can click on it. Under font type, choose Google Fonts, choose your font you're using, Poppins, and this time I'll just give it 500. So it's still there, but it's not so either dark or subtle. But that's looking pretty good. You can shrink the line height as well. It's a little bit far and gone. Maybe I'll even reduce that, that spacing down to 20. But that's looking pretty good. Okay, I'm not going to lie, that's actually looking really nice. So if we save it now and have a preview of what this looks like so far, I'll click on the preview button, and you can see immediately once it loads, it's looking a lot better already, right? We could even increase this gap a tiny bit, but realistically, it's looking nice so far. Now what we need, as it is a page that takes customer information, we are going to need a footer. So what I do at the top, click on blocks. If you watched my lead generation funnel tutorial, you know we've already created a footer. So my master blocks, I'll just drop that in. I might even give this page a bit of padding at the bottom. So click on the green section, scroll to the bottom. I'll give it 150 just to stretch it out a bit, which looks pretty good. All right, so this is coming along pretty nicely. Now, for some reason, this is all got a link on it. So I'll just unlink it and then maybe unbold it. And okay, now it looks a bit better. I'll just increase the size a little bit. Right, that looks much better. And the last thing I'm gonna do is, it still looks pretty tight between them. So for this content box, I might scroll down and click on this margin and give it maybe 30 margin on the right. Okay, now we're looking really good. So what I'm going to do now is create a content box. Now what we're going to do on this content box is basically state the cost and why this is such a good deal. So I'm going to grab this content box on the left, drop it underneath the image like so. You can see it's hard up against this text. So let's play around with it a little bit. At the top of content box, I'm going to turn off, okay, to get rid of that header. Scroll down. And we're going to click on the margin button here to separate them and give it 20 margin below. Okay, just to give it a bit of space. What I'm going to do inside of here is actually click on the box one more time, and on the left, you can see we've got here a border. Now, I don't know why, but all of the time they have like special offer type scenarios. They have dashed lines. So I'm going to choose it from solid to dashed. Now you can see we've got this little dashed section. And what I'm going to do is also under color, give it a little bit of background color. Now, as you can see, the button's blue, so the theme's kind of around blue. So I'm going to try to find a really close version of the blue I've got on the page, close enough. And then I'm going to take the opacity right down to about like 6. Okay, so now we've got this section, which is attention grabbing, but it's got nothing in it. So what we're going to do inside here is go and drop in a text. Okay, inside this text, I'm going to put one-time offer. Okay, I'm going to highlight it and I'm going to bold it, and I'm also going to underline it like so. And then below that, I'm actually going to duplicate it, have another text, and this is going to remove the underline and type in here 97, and then now, and then 67, and we're going to increase the size a little bit. You can see it's pretty tight there, so I might just give it a little bit of margin, like so. Okay, and then what we're going to do is highlight the 97 part. Okay, we're going to give it a strike through. We're going to click the color. We're going to give it a red. Okay, and then I'm going to highlight the green, click on the color and choose green. Okay, so now you can see this is a one-time offer. It's got a bit of substance behind it. I might make the box a little bit smaller. So I'm going to highlight it on the, click on the blue, reduce the padding down to 0. In fact, that's not doing that. Maybe I'll choose the content box and reduce that padding. Okay, it's deciding to, I don't know what's going on there, but it looks pretty good, so I'm happy. Let's just increase the size a little bit maybe. Okay, system's a little bit buggy, but overall it's pretty good. All right, so that's actually looking really, really fresh. I'm extremely happy with how that looks. So let's click on save, right, and let's preview it again. See how it looks, and you can see, that looks absolutely incredible. Right, so the only addition I'll do is these placeholders. So I'm being quite pedantic now, is the placeholder font size is a bit big, so I'll just drop it to 16. Okay, 16, 16. Oh, sorry, wrong one, 16. Okay, and that's looking so good. So if I save that now, the desktop version is actually completed, but now we need to mobile optimize it. And then once we've done this, we've got our template that's ready to go. So master launch system, that looks pretty good. It's quite big, but that's okay. Below that, we've got huge padding. So, margin. So I will reduce that to 10. Okay, tighten it up a bit. For some reason, this section is massive. So let's see if I can make it smaller. Let's see if I can reduce the padding. I don't know why it's doing that. Some things in system are so frustrating. Let's just increase the size here like we did before, 26, and the one-time offer, let's make it 18, okay? And we'll just give it a little bit of padding at the top to compensate. I don't know what's going on with this particular one. So for padding, let's go 6, all right? Now that's looking pretty good in the middle. Now this text is quite big. I'm gonna take all my mobile text to 16. Right, I'm also going to give it a bit of padding at the top, so a margin, whichever you want to put on. So 20 below there, and we'll do 20 below as well. So 20 above, 20 below. That's looking good. Okay, for text here, that's a headline, so it should probably be, in fact, no, that's fine. It's bold. So 16 is good. Come down. Let's give it a bit of space below. So you can choose padding or margin. Doesn't matter which one. We'll give it 10, like so. These look okay. They are 16 already. This section is tight to that one. So let's see what the gap is below the list. It's too big, so we'll go 20. Under this one, we'll also do margin 20. Okay, and that's actually looking really good so far. Is that 16? Yep, perfect. Right, so we've got that looking really good. Now, if we scroll down to the checkout page, you can see we've got all the info. I'm just going to reduce the sizes once again. So I might go 20 for payment. Now, I don't know why, but it's chosen Oswald. So I'll make sure we go back to Poppins. Did I not do that on the original? No, that's what's wrong. So we'll change all these to Poppins and desktop. Once again, this is the template we're going to use for all future ones. So this is going to save loads of time. So that's looking good. The gap below is too big, so we'll make that 10. Okay, placeholder text is too big. Let's bring it down to 16. Okay, and we're just flying through this now. Okay, payment method needs to be pop-ins. Okay, and we'll change that to 18, was it? Sorry, 20 must be. What's that one here? 20, yep. Okay, and we'll give it a 10 bottom, and we'll give it a 10 top for margin. And the same thing here, okay. Choose pop-ins for text. We'll go to 20, okay, and then at the bottom, we'll choose 10, and this time margin the top 30, just like we did before. Okay, and that's all looking good. Let's just scroll down a little bit further. Okay, we've got our footer. If I click on the gray area, I might give it a bit more padding at the bottom. So if I click on, where are we? Just make sure we're in the right one. So section, that's good. I'm going to stretch out the padding. I'm just going to give it 156, just so it pushes down a little bit further. Right, and we're pretty good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and, is that 16? Yep, click on save, click on that. We are done. And if you've stuck around, I know it's a little bit of customizing, but this looks amazing. The only thing I'll do now is reduce the top a bit to about 60. Okay, and we're good, absolutely good. Okay, so now let's click on exit. Right, the order form is done. Now, the last thing to do is going to be the success page. So what I'm going to do for this particular one is I'm going to come to the lead generation funnel. I'm going to click on edit, okay? And we are going to have to add some information on this page. But for right now, what we're going to do is just copy this template. So over the green section at the top right, click on save. We're going to call this thank you template, okay? Just for a little bit of my reference, I'm just going to put here lead gen funnel, okay? And click create. This just gives us all of the mobile optimization, all of the text, everything like that. Saves a bit of time for the future, but let's click save and let's click exit. All right, let's go to the success page, click on exit here. Right, and this is going to be blank. Once again, come to settings at the top, choose default font, choose Google Fonts, choose the font you're using. I'm choosing Poppins, right? And same thing down here, header type, I'm gonna choose 600 for the font. Now come to blocks, and at the top, we're gonna choose now, once it loads, my blocks, and choose the template we've just created. Boom, that's good. Except this time, what we're gonna do is delete the video. I've got a video there, you might have an image. I'm gonna go and come to elements, drop in an image, okay, like so, and click on that image and select the image of our product, okay? And we wanna add in an order summary. People just love seeing order summaries. So on the left under elements, scroll to the bottom, where are we? Under payment, we've got order summary, so we can drop that below the button, okay? We can also just copy this text. We'll put one below the heading, right? We'll put one below the button or above the order summary. And then the final thing, once again, is also adding in our block, which is our footer. So my master blocks, I'll put the footer down here. Right, so it's looking pretty good. Now, it's quite a wide template. For this example, I'm actually going to choose extra small. So click on the green section, content width, extra small, just to squeeze it up a bit, okay? And I'll just remove this padding on either side, okay? Now what I'm going to type in here is a little message. So order success, okay? I'm going to say congratulations on your purchase, right? And if we scroll down, you can see it's got a little bit of a gap here. So I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay, there must be a little bit above this one too, which there is. Okay, so I'll just remove the top padding. So click on this one to expand, remove top padding. Okay, and I'm just going to write something like, you will receive an email with your receipt, as well as automatically get enrolled into the accelerator. Now, if you follow the steps on this tutorial, you've already connected the payment. So the payment automatically sends receipts. And if you've added the course as the resource, they'll automatically get enrolled in the course. So all of the hard work's done there. So it's pretty amazing. Might just reduce the font size a little bit. It looks quite overpowering. Underneath, you want to give them basically the next step. So to get started right away, okay, click the button below. Okay, I might put a little comma there. And below that, I will just come down to the text and I'll just say get started now. I'll remove the subtext, it's not necessary. And make sure for when the button's clicked, it's linking to your actual product. So I'll just quickly find out where my product is. All right, so this is the course. And if they're not logged in, they won't be able to get in anyway. If they are registered, it will take them directly to it. So I'm going to paste in the link there. I'm going to say open in a new window. So that's good. Down below here, I'm going to say here is your order summary. Okay, and I'll just reduce this text quite a bit. It still looks massive, like so. Okay, this is going to pre-populate, so you don't have to do anything. I might just remove some of the top bottom padding once again. Okay, so that's looking really nice. And one final bit of text just to add a little bit of support. Okay, I'll just say if you have, just in case people don't get the emails or something, if you have any questions, please let us know at hello@funnelscene.com. Right, and that's it. That is the entire page done. Of course, we want to check it on mobile, so it looks okay. I'll just increase the size, reduce the padding on this one a bit, just a bit big. I just want to have a nice premium looking experience. Okay, so that's fine. Button, it's got 15 padding, that's fine. Margin here is too big. Right, here's your order summary. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so everything is good to go. Very happy. So click on save. Right, that is done. Now we've just got our final step. So technically, if someone went to this checkout page right now and they purchased, they would then get, the payment would come through, they would then get redirected to this order success page, right? So start here, put in the info, get sent to this page, everything's good, they'll get enrolled, everything's working so far. But now we've actually got to bridge the gap, because right now someone is coming into this original first page. They're coming in to get a lead generation funnel template, right? And then they are brought to this page here, which is giving them the link. So how do we take them from someone just getting something for free into actually going and purchasing, right? And this is where we need to add a little bit of text. Now, once again, I used Claude to actually help me with this. I'll just scroll around down to this one here. So I have a bridging page for people who download a free funnel. I give them the template and then the video to follow instructions. I want to turn this into an offer page, also leading them to the checkout we just created. What elements do you think I should add below here? And it literally just told me all of the elements inside of it, right? And we'll go through and quickly add this in, okay? So I'm just going to pull this on the right for reference so we can do this quite fast so we don't spend too much time. So let's edit this new page. Okay, so the first thing it's asking us to do now is, I'll show you, it's not too bad, is add a transition statement. So this free template is just the beginning, want the complete system. So what we're going to do is duplicate this heading, okay, drag it below the button like so, and we're going to paste in our text. Okay, we'll remove the quotations and we will reduce the size so it fits a little bit nicer. So about there, and we're just going to reduce the gap as well. And we'll give it a little bit of padding or margin. So I might give it maybe 30 just to spread it out a little bit. Okay, so that's looking good. Next is headline, got the template. What about everything else? Okay, so we'll copy that, duplicate that again, paste this in here as well. And we want one to be overpowering, but which one do we want? So I think we'll make even this heading a little bit smaller again, maybe to 22. We'll reduce this. Once again, if you want to see the final, just go through the funnel I created, everything's there. I'll also provide this to everyone inside of the accelerator too. Okay, so we have now the problem agitation section and copy section. So what I might do is actually from here create a new section entirely. So let's click off it. Let's go to section, right? And we will drop the section there. That's got a massive padding, so we'll just change that to 100. Okay, maybe even less. Let's go 50, right? And let's move this inside of here. Now for the width, we'll come back down to medium, right? So it's not too big. And for the background, to make a bit of difference between them, let's change the background color to F7, F7, F7. So now when someone comes down here, they can see there's like sort of the seeding the idea, and now's the headline talking about actually what we're going to give them. So 3 short points right now, stuck figuring out email sequences. Let's go and copy this text like so. Let's drag it down below here, okay, and paste in that text, and we're just going to get rid of those bullet points, okay. Need funnel templates, right, paste that in, right, want to master automation, right, paste that in, and once again just backspace there to get rid of the bullets like so. And we'll just give it a little bit of line height just to spread it out a little bit, okay. So now we're starting the sales process, okay. So bridge headline, introducing the complete system.io accelerator. So we'll copy this heading right at the top to give it a bit of size, and we'll paste that in here. In fact, let's make it a little bit more fancy. Let's go back and choose a content box like so, and let's drag the heading in there. And now what we're going to do in this content box is click on that, turn off the heading, we'll go background color, we'll change this to white, so go pure white in the corner, FFFFF, okay, and we'll reduce the size of this a little bit. I think we could probably get away with making this whole thing even a small. Do I think so? Yeah, I think we can, maybe we'll make it medium again, sorry. But what we'll do for this content box is we will give it some width. So margins on the sides, we'll give it like 50, just so it's not too big. Even a little bit more, we'll go 80. Okay, so there's our heading. Right, now the next thing we need to do is add in a description. So we'll highlight all of the text between the quotations. Right, we can copy this one, drop it in there like so, paste it all in. And if you're using AI, just make sure you remove all of the M dashes. It's a clear giveaway that you're using AI. We're going to remove the padding so it tightens things up. All right, and now it's asking for a what's inside the box with a visual call out. So we're going to drop in an image. Okay, where's image? Right up here. Drop it in, and we will use once again our product image that we've used on the other pages. Okay, drop that in. It's looking pretty good. We could probably reduce the size a little bit so it's not too overpowering. And we will give it a little bit of margin, maybe 20. 20 looks pretty good. Okay. Now what's next? We've got some bullets, so we'll copy all those, right? And I'll just use a text box for that once again. Paste it below, paste, and I might actually be a bit sneaky with this one. So I might, first of all, highlight all of it, and on the left, we've got alignment, so click alignment left. Let's get rid of all these bullets, and then for margin, we're going to click on margin, and we need it to be directly underneath the image. So let's maybe put 80, nope, a little bit more, maybe 120. And if you click off it, how does it look? Probably needs a little bit more, say maybe 140, maybe 150. We'll call it 150, we'll go 140. All right, sorry about that. But that's looking pretty nice, right? If we want to make it pop a little bit more as well, we can also make certain words like bold. So you could do email sequence library, you could do complete system IO training, automation blueprints, and of course you can play around with this later. Lifetime access and updates. Okay, done a few funnels, you know, things like that. Okay, now below that we've got social proof. So I'm going to take the social proof right here, and we're just going to copy this one more time, drag it below. I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to highlight it and make it bold, and it's pretty tight, so I'm going to give it some margin above this one. So let's give it 20, and in fact this kind of is an anchor text, so let's change the color. Let's highlight it all, click on this color palette, let's make it like a relatively similar blue. Okay, so that looks not too bad. Okay, and then if we come down, so special offer box, same yellow green as checkout page. So when I talked to it about it later, it was saying it should be yellowish, not the blue. So let's create a new content box. All right, let's drag it just below like so. All right, let's click on it, turn off the header, scroll down, give it a bit of, click on margin, let's give it like 20 margin, bit of spacing. Right, let's come to border, let's make it dashed again, right? And for background color, let's choose, I think it even gave me some visual references. If I scroll down a little bit, all right, where are we? Here, so I'll just use this one. Okay, so punch it in there. Right, now we've got this kind of yellowy, kind of saily type of vibe going on, which is pretty cool. And inside of here, special offer, one-time offer for template users. And we've got a price once again. So let's drop in some text. I'll just drop that one into the box, paste in the text, one-time offer. Okay, it was 97, now 60. So I'll duplicate it, paste it, increase the sizing like we did on the checkout page. I'll give it just a little bit of margin just so it's not super squashed, so maybe 5. Okay, we'll highlight the 97 text, we'll make it red. Okay, we'll highlight the green text, make that, or to be green text, make it green. Right, if we see what's next, upgrade now to save $30, sure thing. So we'll go and drop that down below it. Okay, and I'll just give it once again a little bit of margin at the top, maybe 5. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Right, and what else we got? Call to action button. Okay, so we want to use this as the text. So I will come back to the editor, go right to the top. Let's just duplicate this button to save some time. Drag it down below the box. In fact, yeah, that looks pretty good. In fact, I might go a little bit below it just to separate it. That looks better. Okay, and in this button step, click on it and make sure action when button clicked, go to next step URL. Right, so it automatically goes to the next step. So let's click on it now, change the text. Yes, give me the complete system. What I might do is reduce the size a little bit, and under the subtext, I will say secure this one-time offer. Right, and I'll put a little hyphen there. And then we've got this last bit of text, instant access to all the templates and training. Okay, so I'll just grab this text one more time, down below, paste it in, right, and we'll give it a little bit less text height, and we've got a quotation, go to quotations that we don't want to have, and I'll give it a little bit of margin, once again, maybe 10, right, and you can see this is coming along, so it's all pretty good. So now if I look at this, we've got our offer page. Now I'm going to give a little bit of padding below this box. So padding, I'm going to give this maybe, I don't know, 100. So that looks pretty good. And I'm going to click on this first content box right here because it's got the original blue border, which I don't want. So I'll put it on 0, give it 10 quarter radius and give it a mid shadow. Okay, so you can see it looks very premium now. I may even give it a little bit of margin at the top. So maybe 10, just to give it a little bit of breathing room. So that's looking really nice. Let's see what it looks like on a live preview. Okay, so I'll just close the preview. So when someone comes to this page now, they'll see the funnel, they'll see that, then they'll get the seed. This template is just beginning, want the complete system. Come down, see this. So we're going to remove that link, which is fine. We'll link again, but then you can see all the info. Okay, and if they click on this button, it's going to take them to the checkout page. Perfect. So everything's almost there. It's very, very cool. So let's just get rid of this link. Okay, so remove that link. Remove this link. This must be a new thing with system. Kind of annoying, but it's all good. Okay, remove that link. I'll give this button just a tiny bit of padding. Okay, let's give it like 10 just to separate it a bit. And boom, I'm absolutely stoked. So now we got to mobile optimize it just to make sure everything looks good. Right, so template, yep, that first part's nice. We've got quite a bit of white space here, so I might reduce that. So click on it, I'm going to bring it down to maybe 30. I think 30 is enough. Same thing here, except it's too little padding. So I'll click on that one, give it, where are we? Here. I'll give this row 30 padding. So I'll give it 30, try to keep it same. Come down, it's very tight. I'll just give it a bit more line height, which is fine. Okay, that looks good. Might just increase the size a little tiny bit. That gap's quite big too. So I think that gap is from this text. I will just spread it out, reduce that gap. Okay, I might even, maybe I'll just give it 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Scroll down, image looks good. Let's give this a little bit of spacing. Okay, this padding's quite a lot. So you can see we've got 10 margin either way. Actually, I might make it 0 top, get 20 bottom. Right, come down, we've got way too much gap going on here. So let's remove all the margins. Okay, and we're flying through this now. You'll be a pro by the time you finish this. Okay, we'll give this button a little bit reduced font size. It's too big. Okay, we'll give it some margin at the top as well. We'll give it just maybe 20. Okay, we'll reduce this size just a little bit, make it singular. And then once again, below the actual box itself, if I click on the outside of the content box, it hasn't got much padding. So what I'm going to do is just put maybe 105. So you can see we've actually got a little space down the bottom. Though I have to admit, this thing is looking pretty much there. So 16 text, yep. And because we've imported this first template, everything is about right in terms of sizing. So I might just reduce this one a little bit. Okay, reduce the line height, and boom, I am absolutely stoked. So that is the entire funnel done. Absolutely incredible. So now let's save it. Let's get out of here. Let's actually test the funnel right from the very beginning to make sure it works. View funnel step. Okay, lead gen, yes, send it to me. Oh, I got to remove it from there. It must be literally a new update. So I might just put here, hello@funnelscene.com. Yes, send it to me. Okay, we've taken to our bridging page, right? So come down here. It's got all the info. See the deal. Click on the button. Right, here's all the info. They can pay for it, $67, master system. Everything's looking absolutely wild. If you click on it, it's ready to rock and roll. The only annoying thing with system is you can't test the payments. So if you wanted to see the entire thing work, you'd actually have to go and purchase it. The easiest way to do that is just create a product, but have it just for like $1, and then you can refund it if you really want. But that is it. Absolutely wild. So if you've followed along right from the very beginning, in the lead gen funnel stage, we created the opt-in form, we created the thank you page. Then inside of this video, we created a order page, we created the thank you page, and we turned our regular opt-in thank you page into a bridging page, which is basically like a pre-sale page. And now if you've followed along from the very beginning, you've got a fully done working sales funnel. You've turned your lead generation funnel now into a sales funnel. And all you need to do is run traffic to your free offer, and those people will come through, they will get this discounted offer, they will get the products that they've purchased, and the entire thing is absolutely done. Now this was a bit of a video, but honestly, you've now got this template. Every single product from here, you can just duplicate the pages you've created. And if you want this template, if you don't want to do all the work, I'll add it to the System Accelerator course. Once again, if you want to get more info, check out the description. But that's it for the system funnel tutorial. We turned a lead gen page into a sales funnel. Now you're ready to go to start making some sales. If you enjoyed this, let me know. Smash the thumbs up button, hit subscribe. But that's it for this video. I'll see you on the next one.